What'd you think happened?
Sure. I don't know. I couldn't see.
Don't lie. Don't lie. You couldn't see it. You saw the instant replay 4 times. What happened?
He fell on your leg.
Thank you. Don't ask me a dumb question you don't answer to.
You think it was intentional?
Did you see it? What it look like? What it look like? Did anybody touch him? Yes or no?
I didn't see the replay yet.
Oh, you didn't see it? But why you asking about something you didn't see?
I just saw the play live.
Well, then if you didn't see it, don't ask me a question. Don't ask me dumb questions. Obviously, it was intentional. So ask me, was it intentional? Nobody touched me, fell over my leg, tried to hurt me, you know. But hey, that's how I go.
Do you think that's something the NBA needs to look into?
Hey, man, they'll see it and look at it. You know what I'm saying? They'll see it.
All right, Nick, does the NBA need to do something about Zaza Pachulia?
Yes, but I don't put the major onus on the NBA. I put it on the Warriors because the NBA is limited in what they can do. There's a union. You can only suspend a guy for so long. This wasn't such a clear, overt act that he can have some very long suspension. Sure, the NBA should ding him a game. And then Steve Kerr and Joe Lacob and Bob Myers and the Light Years crew in Golden State should get together and ask themselves, do we need this guy? Is he worth the trouble? Is he worth the fact that he makes us as a team look bad? That he injured Kawhi Leonard a few months after he injured Kevin Durant, his own teammate, doing his histrionic flopping. That he then seemingly, while hitting Russell Westbrook in the groin, tried to break the guy's ankle. And you say, oh, that's an overreaction. Zaza Pachulia is 285 pounds falling directly on Russell's legs. So breaking his ankle was certainly in play. He certainly was trying to hurt him with a total non-basketball move. The Warriors should be better than this. Zaza is not. Zaza's been dirty his whole career. The only reason he's still in the league. Last year he was 224th in the league in points. This year he's up to 223rd in points. Slow, steady progression. By 20, what would that be?
That's more than 224 other guys
yeah,
or something like that.
Listen, the Warriors don't need him. Steve Kerr and Bob Myers should figure out what is the juice worth the squeeze here, because it ain't. This league is too good with too many great players, too many great stories to have this skillless goon out there trying to injure MVP candidates.
That's a nice utopian sentiment. But that's not the real world. There have been dirty players in the NBA. There are other dirty players in the NBA today. And the Golden State Warriors are not going to just cut this guy because other players saying he's dirty. And he is dirty. I'm with you on most of what you said. I thought what he did yesterday was egregious. He didn't have to fall. He wasn't pushed. He didn't lose his balance. He purposely fell on Westbrook and tried to hurt him. He should get suspended by the league. Where I differ is I think the Warriors should sit down with him and have a talk. And like, look, Zaza, we don't want you hurting anybody. There's great players in the league. We don't want Westbrook getting hurt, Kawhi Leonard, and we don't want other people targeting Steph, Clay, KD, whoever, because of your antics. Cut it out.
But the thing
is, that's you think they should cut him tomorrow?
Well, I think that what you're describing, I don't know if it's true that they don't want him doing it. They signed him after seeing what he did last year. They signed him, they re-signed him after his whole career. So they need to ask themselves, is this what we're about? You can say there's other dirty players. He is the dirtiest player in the league and has been for some time. And in league history, we know John Stockton set dirty screens, but he was not out there to set dirty screens.
What about Draymond?
He's one of the greatest players.
Yeah, Draymond was kicking people in the head, in the groin, all that.
Why do we forget that? Because he's good?
It's not that we forget it. It's that Draymond's only utility as a basketball player was not in the kicking. Draymond's a defensive player of the year. Zaza, his only skill is that he's dirty.
But what you're saying is if a player is good, he can be dirty.
Okay.
If he's not, you better not.
It's not, first of all, I'm not quite saying that. I think Zaza's dirtier than any player in the league. But when it is the only reason you're out there, I don't know that the Warriors can credibly say, we don't want him doing this. The only way they can as long as you let him keep playing, he will keep doing this. The only way you as an organization can say, we don't want him to do this in our uniform, is to take the uniform from him.
No, you can sit him down and talk. Draymond, is he kicking people anymore? No.
No.
Just like that, Zaza can stop doing the dirty antics he's doing.
But then why would they let him play?
They need
no
a big.
use.
They need a big. Look, he's not. Every game he is not doing what he did last night. Not even every other game. He's not doing that all the time. I'm not saying he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they couldn't replace him with a decent center and be fine. But they need him right now just for his size and his position.
He marred what should have been an unimpeachable run to the title for the Warriors last year by intentionally injuring Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, who, by the way, has not been seen from since. Now, I know one was an ankle injury, one was a quad injury, but the kinetic chain is a real thing, and one injury can beget another injury. We have seen him try to bully Russell Westbrook standing over him like some stupid goon. We've seen him flop and end up almost blowing out Kevin Durant's ACL. And by the way, Zaza, people are not going to retaliate on you. They're going to retaliate on one of the guys who's actually good at basketball.
They haven't yet.
Well, you're right, because maybe guys across the league, you don't have the predetermined goon on your squad. Maybe guys across the league have too much respect for Steph or for Clay, but this is bad for the sport. He could have broke the guy's leg.
I'm just saying the Warriors need to talk to him and tell him to stop.
But is that realistically going to happen?
You can realistically
tell him
to stop.
You don't think the Warriors know what they have in him and what they're getting from him and what happens when he's out on the court?
Kevin Durant
maybe they don't want him to hurt
last
anybody.
Night, so I'm just saying I don't think they need to cut him. That's all I think.
This idea that, Durant defended him, these Warriors fanboys on the internet that send the Zapruder film of Nick Young's leg touching the back of his knee. Like, I'm no great athlete, obviously, but I know how athletes fall. Like, the idea that because Nick Young hit him in the back of the knee, that's what led him to aim for Russell's groin and then flop on his legs, which the way Russell's laying there, you could clearly hurt him. So let me ask you this, Chris. Are you, while you're not saying that you'd go as far as I'm saying, which is get him off the team, is this his last chance? What if he does this again? Is that then far enough to go to where you say, we don't need him?
I don't know if it's his last chance. I know I'd sit him down and say, give him somewhat of an ultimatum. But I don't know if I'd make this his last chance, because the Warriors are feeling that's not our problem. That's how they may be looking at it.
At some point, you have a responsibility to the league as a whole. And I understand you are, when it was Draymond, right? You're limited in what you can do because Draymond was the key to their entire defensive identity. Like, listen, you got to take the good with the bad with Draymond. You can't tell Draymond, we're going to cut you, obviously. He's a max player in this league. I think the league's best defender by a decent margin. You don't need him.
But even if
they obviously feel like they do need him to some degree. They may not feel like we can't win a championship without him, but they do feel like they need him.
Even if Steve Kerr is defending him publicly, what do you think he's saying to him in private?
I think they're all embarrassed by it. I think his teammates are embarrassed by him. I know David West doesn't like him. I saw him throw one of the dirtiest elbows I've ever seen in the history of the league at David West a few years ago. Now they got to play together. These guys, this is the family member that when he's attacked publicly, you're like, but he's family, but privately amongst your other family, you're like, man, what is wrong with him?
But if that's the case, they should go and talk to him. The players, even if it's not the front office or Steve Kerr, the players can go to him and say, and you're right, nobody's done it yet, but maybe at some point somebody will take a shot at Steph or Clay or something.
And that would be shameful. Like, this isn't hockey. You're not supposed to have a designated goon. This is the most beautiful sport in the world and the best league in the world.
But it's always been marred by guys like this.
All right, guys.
Karl Malone.
We got to go. That's it for us. We are right